Hi guys, it's Amy. Today's another Q&A time. I actually have a very complicated question here, but I wanted to address it because I know I've been asked this a couple different times. Okay, so this golfer asked that driver has topspin, wood has side spin, iron has backspin. So the pre-shot routine, the grip, and swing plane should be all different for these clubs. If you watch Tiger Woods, then his pre-shot routine is different and his playing is different. Could you please clarify that? Okay, it's a very complicated question. You know, golf is complicated enough. I really try and do my best to make it the simplest as possible for you guys, because if you decide to, you can dig as deep as possible and you'll never be able to get out because there's so many different variables that come into play when you're trying to hit one golf ball, right? So simple is what we want. All right, just a couple things here. He mentioned that the driver has topspin, wood has side spin, iron has backspin. Actually here, when I was shooting my driver lesson, I talk about topspin with the driver lesson, and actually this is just like lost in translation. There is actually no topspin on the driver, because if you put topspin on it, the ball will not get airborne because there's always like 2,000-3,000 RPM backspin on the drives, right? So in Korean, when we're talking about driver, we actually use the term topspin a lot, just to say you're taking off some of the backspin to give it that nice boring flight. So when I just kind of translate it into English, I use the word topspin without even thinking about it, and then all these people mentioned it and I was like, oh my gosh, I never realized that. So it's just lost in translation. So it's just less backspin, no topspin. I hope that clarifies a lot of things for a lot of you guys. The swing concept is the same for every club, but if you wanted to, you can say driver swing versus iron and wood swing. You can divide it into if you want, okay? That is because driver, you tee it up, so the ball is up in the air, so you want to wait in your back foot and you go up below into it and you throw through. So that's the driver, right? And then with the rest of the clubs, wood and the irons, you really want to shift your weight first and you go down below into it. When you say there are different spins on the clubs, you're not trying to do it on purpose. Okay, when you're hitting an iron, let's say you're drawing a line from the club head. Okay, you're drawing a line from the club head. It's such a short club. The circle that I draw with this club is very small, right? Versus the wood, which is a lot longer of a club. When I swing this club, the circle that I make with the club head is a lot bigger. So if you chop up this swing plane and just zoom up in the 3 feet behind the golf ball and 3 feet past the golf ball, just right here, the circle with the irons are obviously, it's a lot smaller of a circle, more steeper arc near the golf ball. So that's why you feel like you're making a bigger divot, you're hitting down and hitting into the ground. Whereas with the wood, it's a lot shallower because the circle is so big. So that's why you have that brushing sensation when you're hitting woods. The different spins or different feeling of the angle going into the ball is different because of the size of the golf club. I'm not necessarily trying to do something mechanically different to create that feeling, right? So that takes care of the spin. We don't want to purposely do something funny with your wrist to make it into a backspin. It's just a circle that takes care of it. Okay? All right. And then the swing plane. I'm not exactly trying to make different swing planes for every club, because then it will just make my life miserable, because there'd be too many things to think about. Like there isn't enough things to think about when you're playing golf. Okay. So when I grab my iron and I set up to it, since it's such a short club, if you look at it from the side, I'm a lot lower, right? And then when I grab my 3-wood, if I keep the same height, same deep angles, because the club is so long, it looks really flat to the ground. If you swing this way, then the swing plane is going to be way too flat and the ball contact isn't going to be very good. So with the longer clubs, you want to stand up taller, right? So you're taller. So because of the tallness in this setup and the length of the club and the size of the circle, that makes the swing plane look a little bit different. So the wood is a little bit flatter and the iron is a little bit steeper. I'm not mechanically doing anything different. It's just I'm trying to do exact same swing but adjusting to the different length of the club, right? So let's not get it too complicated. And then he also mentioned the pre-shot routine looks different for every club. And for the driver, he mentioned that you need to cock your wrist upward. And then for the wood, you need to relax your hands and drop it. But you know, when you're looking at tour pros, you don't exactly know what kind of shot they're trying to achieve. They could be trying to hit like a punch shot, a baby draw, a baby cut, whatever it is. You don't know what he's planning to do. So that could vary their routine. Plus, everybody has different tendencies. Let's just pick an example. Let's say I am not very good with my 3-wood. I tend to kind of use my hands and make a big divot and hit down on it with my 3-wood. So I know that's my tendency. So every time I hit my 3-wood, I may be talking to myself, okay, whenever I feel that brushing sensation, I hit it great. Then I'm like, okay, I gotta brush this. I have to brush through. I have to brush through. So you might be doing that, and then your routine may look different from the other clubs because of the temporary feeling you're trying to recreate. But mechanically, you're really not changing anything. You want to keep the main concept of the swing the same, and then adjust according to the club and your tendencies. I hope this really clarifies things for you guys. If you have additional questions, please leave comments below or come to my website and leave Ask Aimee section. I do check that first and then the YouTube comments because it's easier for me to track. But anyways, thanks guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next Q&A.